What's going on, guys? This is the first world boss on the Diablo 4 beta. This guy's dropping out. I'm actually with Winterguard Gaming right now. He started up the training now group, started a little clan. He's level 19 on a barb. We got one other lightning source that's level 25. I'm just popping down my Hydras. This boss was serious. It's definitely unlike any kind of gameplay that's ever been done before in Diablo 4. We realized pretty late that our durability on our items are going to drop super fast, and you actually have to resurrect each other to try to avoid that. Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that I was spec'd as a Hydra Sorc, because after dying about 4 times through this, I started to realize that it was definitely ideal to just hang way the hell back and just drop Hydras. I wasn't even dropping my ultimate that much because I didn't want to get close, lose all the durability on my items, and lose the damage increase to Hydra, as that's, you know, a good portion of my gear. So this is a pretty epic fight. I thought it was pretty cool. I had very mixed reviews so far playing the beta. It seemed kind of like a repeat of Diablo 3 with a little flashier graphics, a little bit better skill tree, more closer to a more simplified version of PoE. Almost gave me a Skyrim kind of feel as well with that skill tree. But yeah, you can see, I mean, we were here with another clan as well, and I want to say maybe there was about 10 of us, 12 of us, something like that, that were trying to take this guy down. It really came down close to the line, but anyways, I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna leave this on here and just let it run through. But yeah, pretty much, if you come across this world boss, I have talked to some other people that they actually didn't take it down in the certain time limit. This was really close. I mean, it came right down the line on this. But yeah, definitely have the ranged, because I can't even imagine playing melee. Winterguard was getting pretty upset. His gear was like totally broken and busted. He was just kind of acting as like taking the aggro, which is going to be interesting to see if they have more of an aggro, kind of like World of Warcraft would have, where, you know, one person can be fixated on more than all the casters. But it doesn't really seem like there's that much of a system there. So, but again, you know, the ranged was pretty much the name of the game. If it wasn't for our other sorceress we had that was level 25 and myself popping out spells, I don't know if we would have been able to actually take this down. Because if you're melee, I mean, you're just dying constantly by that sweeping attack that he does. It just instantly kills you pretty much when it touches you. So, but this was definitely an interesting choice. I was originally not going to be involved with the world boss fight, but I figured I might as well go ahead and join Winterguard. He's got a pretty cool channel. He's definitely an old school D2R player normally, D2, but he's been on here leveling a barb, so I thought I'd tag along for this adventure. Yeah, if you actually notice, I don't have any other abilities other than Hydra, Fire Shield, and then the Sorceress's Fire Ultimate, which is called Inferno, that summons a serpent. Only when I got close enough up to him, there's actually a range on the Fire Serpent. So, you know, if I click way out, it doesn't seem... it actually doesn't reach all the way, but Hydra will reach. There's no range. As long as you click, you know, as long as you can see the location on the map, it will go all the way down there. But as far as the ultimate, it does actually have a range. But the interesting thing was, as soon as this fight started, the entire screen just fully zoomed out. So it's interesting. You definitely wouldn't be able to do these mechanics with how big this boss was, without having some kind of zoomed out screen. So I mean, if we were zoomed in, there's not really much you could do. If you see right there, one swipe and it just completely decimates your life. I hit my potions, it did nothing. So as soon as you get swiped by this guy one time, that's it, you're done. So if you had only melee characters to take down the world boss, I feel sorry for you. You'd probably have a tough time. But we had enough range damage that could stay alive and not die enough times, you know, not die too many times to maintain our durability on our items to gain all that damage synergies to our skills. So I think a combination of that and some of the rogues, which I don't know anything about the rogues, but I know they have some ranged attacks. Between that, I think we were lucky enough to get this down.
I'm out of mana.
Alright guys, at this point we actually finished it right at the very end. We did not have much time left. Look at those legendaries that dropped. Pretty awesome that everyone has their own loot table. Of course that's going to be a thing because it doesn't seem like there's going to be any trading. We completed this event. It does suck, obviously. You're not going to be able to keep this character. It's just going to go away after beta ends.
Impressive.
But if you noticed, I think at this point I'm just like, I don't need to play this anymore. You know, we got the challenge done, and this one particular item that dropped was pretty substantial. The name of the item is actually called Enigma. So we beat the game. That's it. GG. If you're a D2 player, you know Enigma is one of the better items in the game. You know, as far as the rune words go. But it was very interesting to see this offhand, like Rubik's Cube looking thing. I think it was called the. That wand actually is pretty dope. If I was gonna respec to Frost Sorceress, right now I'm doing the flex, trying to see what everyone else got as well. But yeah, 2 legendary rings, a wand, and there it is, the cube. Cube is pretty cool looking. The animation on it is pretty dope. Gotta do that flex, you know. But yeah, Serpentine Enigma Cube, very interesting. That was actually the first legendary offhand that I'd gotten. But yeah, it was really cool to see these items dropped. Now fast forwarding, if you notice here, this red blinking thing. After you finish a world event, it actually gives you some spoils from that world event that goes into your stash in town. So not only did we get the legendary drops from the actual boss initially dying and dropping those 4 or 5 legendaries, we also got a stash here of little things. As you can see, it dropped 4 more legendaries. You know, a couple of them were decent. One of them took over a rare for me. Another one took over another rare for me, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, definitely if you were lucky enough to kill one of the world bosses that dropped out, definitely go back and double check your stash to see what you got.
Not bad. come back and see us.
Good bit left there. Father bless. What do you need?
Good deal. Father bless.
Taint the light you're here.
So we actually had quite a few obols to spend. This is a blue token that drops off of certain areas that you get for certain rewards, and since we're missing the legendary tunic for the chest piece, probably to get an achievement, I'm assuming there was an achievement, I just spam right-clicked, ended up getting 2 legendary tunics with some new transmogs that look pretty cool. So that was just another progression. I mean, some people care about the achievements. I know WoW in World of Warcraft, people spend a lot of time getting those achievements. Diablo 3, there was quite a few myself that I had to get done as well, that I was like, you know, I have to grind this one out. But it definitely is a good early look to see how the achievements are going to work. Obviously, the first one, equipping a legendary in every slot, is one of the early ones. I'm sure that everyone's going to pick up pretty fast. The high rate of unique drops actually is fairly interesting. I think they're probably going to keep the same thing in the full version of the game. Perhaps they're not going to rely too much on set bonuses as they did in D3. You know, I mean, if you've ever played a Spin to Win Whirlwind Barbarian in D3, you definitely have to take advantage of the Bull Cathos set, as well as the Marauder, I believe. Well, no, Marauder was for Demon Hunter. I forget. It's been a long time since I've put on D3, but it was all about getting those sets to get the most amount of damage. So it's going to be interesting to see how they actually play out the final game, if uniques are going to be a big part of it, or if we are actually going to have to rely fully on the set pieces with only a few legendaries. So it should be interesting to see. But yeah, right here I I had to I was typing out to Winterguard just to say, hey man, I mean, all this is gonna go away anyways, but I'm sure he had a lot of obols saved up. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but those blue tokens that are 2 slots over from your gold currency in your inventory, you spend those with that particular vendor that I was just at. So I was typing this out to Winterguard to make sure he went and spent some out. So I told Winterguard to give me a follow here. So obviously there's new things I'm learning. I kind of wanted to come in fresh, not knowing anything about it. Obviously we don't know what the final game is going to be like. You know, there's going to be so many different changes when the full version comes out, but I was escorting Winterguard on his Barbarian down to the vendor. Now, I saved up quite a few and didn't spend too many until I got to level 25 to try to have the best possible chance of getting some higher level items on the legendary slot, mostly just to fill out every slot with a legendary. I got a lot of repeats. There was a couple of pieces that I just couldn't seem to get legendaries for, but considering I don't have that much playtime into the beta, getting into 25 and not really that much farming, it's still not too bad. But basically, this is the guy you definitely want to talk to if you're playing the beta. Pull up your inventory, since this is going to go away anyways, and you want to look at your blue token currency called Abuls in there, or Abduls, or however you pronounce that. Whatever item you're missing some legendary slots in, I think the best chance, I always spam click, just like I do gambling on D2R, to try to get that Griffin's Eye. But either way, you know, he wasn't too lucky, but hopefully he'll be lucky next time when he turns 25.
Father bring you luck?
Need something forged?
So I decided to finally go to the wardrobe and try out the transmog here a little bit, and see if we could change up the look. I really do love the look of this this helm. I've had it from a pretty early on level, well, early-ish, and then we got just a higher level version of it from that world boss that dropped. It wasn't necessarily that much better all the way around, because I had already upgraded the previous version about 5 times. But the overall armor increase was pretty big, and it had a socket. That was the biggest thing, to have a socket for a gem set. But this is the transmog screen. You just go to your wardrobe. It's right next to where your stash is in town. It's very interesting. You can choose different colors for different pieces that you get. I wanted to actually make the sorceress look like a legit wizard or some kind of crazy something. Didn't have too many transmogs, but had it decent enough to be able to change it up a bit. Looks pretty cool. Almost looked like it at the end. Almost looked like it was just a little bit. But it was pretty interesting to see. I really hope they don't have too many microtransactions like they had in D3 with certain transmogs. I hope they kind of leave that alone. You know, paying $100 for the game already is pretty insane. Considering they even had a collector's edition that was $100, that, you know, had like, it was physical, you know, like collectible kind of stuff, kind of like the collector's edition of D3, but D3 actually came with a copy of the game. Blizzard, for whatever reason, has a collector's edition that you can buy, have it shipped to your house or wherever you are, but there literally does not come with a copy of the game. So you would pay $100 for like some pieces of paper and some of, you know, little tiny collectibles, and then have to pay for the game as well. So I thought that was pretty ridiculous. But you know, for the early beta access, I mean, I think it's interesting if you want to be a part of it, you know, the early access, and get a quick look at everything. But overall, in the scope of things, you can just watch people's videos, you know, not necessarily mine. I'm not that big. I'm just trying to show the content as much as I can, just how I did when D2R beta came out as well. But is it worth $100 to get early beta access? Absolutely not. You know, you can just pull up a video on Dabrowski or Winterguard Gaming or Riker or one of the big ones, Llama. You know, any of those guys are going to have this content. It's really not worth it to spend the $100 on it. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm just going to let this play out, take a look at the animations and some different things. Again, I really think it's definitely not worth it as far as buying that longer version for the early beta access. Is the game worth it itself? It remains to be seen until they actually launch it. But definitely had a lot of fun. That world boss is completely different aspect. Like, there's nothing like that. Even the Ubers, I mean, at any point in time, you know, the Uber Diablo, you know, all that kind of stuff like that from D2R or D2, the original one. It's hard, but you don't have to have 12 people involved to complete it. So I think this world boss is going to be very, very interesting. Obviously not on the same level as coordination as something like World of Warcraft world bosses that require a full raid team and a lot of strategy, and is super crazy hard, and you have to have full consumes and everything else like that. but it is very interesting to see. It almost seems like they've taken aspects from Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, and every other Blizzard RPG kind of game out there and incorporated into this, especially with gathering herbs and gathering ore to craft certain things. The consumables in this were really cool. You get a 5% experience buff along with other damages to different skill sets, whether you're melee or ranged. So it's very interesting to see how they threw everything together. You know, just little tiny bits and pieces and aspects from every other game that's been out there. So I think it could be very interesting, but again, it just remains to be seen. We don't know what's going to be solid once they do a full launch of the game. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Again, you know, I'll try to throw some timestamps in here just for some of the explanations, but otherwise, take care and have a great day.